Hello, welcome back to Villain Deku. Where we last left off for him, well, simple. He took over the mind of Melissa Shield, well, partially, before, trying to corrupt her all the way. Not only that, he used her against All Might after, luring some pieces for, All Might to find and try to find practically like his friend's daughter, because in the end of the day, hey, he sees Melissa Shield as family, so it's just how it is, man. But not only that, it's also the fact being that, well, turns out Deku tricked the shit out of him. Trust me on that one, Chief, because, he did a whole switcheroo, like he used a fake robot to distract him, where Melissa Shield practically used it like a VR type, shit. So trust me on that one. I don't care if I was swearing at the beginning of this video because it's Villain Deku. I'm allowed to in this case because he's the freaking bad guy. Just how it is. It's just how it is. Like if you have a problem with that, die. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like they escaped. They went to a new base and all that. So let's get into the story. Then we are at where the heroes were still attacking Deku's base. Still trying to breach it and all that type of stuff, as All Might and the other heroes have to fight off the machine, which some of them are trying to do something. They don't know what, but it looks like Deku activated a fail-safe or something of the sort, which, in the end, All Might has to fight the ones on the surface since he was practically brought up there, while Eraserhead went down. He snuck past a bunch of bots and went down to the lower levels. As he's going around, he sees a few machines just rushing out, trying to stop him for some reason. When he finally reaches there, he's like, this is getting very confusing, but also very, very too easy. I'm not too sure about this one. As he thinks that in his head, he keeps walking. He just keeps going at some point, which at this point, he hasn't run into any more robots, which he doesn't know why, but he gets into a control room, a room that looks different than everything else. When he gets in there, he sees one robot activating something. He rushes in and he's able to knock it down, bring it down, destroy it, whatever. And when he does, it just gives him a weird digital happy face. Then it shuts off as he looks at the screens, the monitors, as it says, self-destruct system activated. In 10 seconds, this facility will self-destruct, which Eraserhead, his eyes widen. He says, what the? No, I can't let this happen. If it does, it's gonna bring down the city with it. So he's messing away, even talking to the other heroes. He's saying, what do I do? How do I stop this? Because in the end, he's trying to figure out all the switches and buttons and whatever to try to stop it until it turns out something was left on the floor. As it gets closer to 2 seconds left, as Eraserhead grabs the thing and sees a note on it saying something of deactivating all of building, destruction, He puts it into the slot as it just blows up all the robot factories and any, other data, but the building structure itself still stands because he was that close to actually fucking dying. He's wondering how did this happen until he reads more of the note saying, it's me, Melissa Shield. I'm not all the way gone. A piece of me is still stuck in my body. I can only come out when the other half sleeps. I did this for you, for whoever seen this, but tell All Might that it's still me. I'm just locked away in that body. Please tell him to save me. After that, Aizawa noticed that some of the words started getting scrumbled up, but that's all he could have made out from the note. He kind of smiles knowing the fact that he has some good news to tell All Might, but he does get out of the room to get back up to the surface. After that, we cut to what Deku is doing. He already moved his whole base of operations to another location, a very unique location. And it's practically in a fucking mountain, because why the hell not? As Deku walks around, looking at his, so far, servants, as they're building more robots, even though Melissa Shield doesn't want to. But she can't control her body, which Deku finds amusing. But he turns to Scorch and says, when will he show up? Your, master, your creator, whatever? Scorch looks at him and says, "You mean K.infinite. He shows up whenever he wants, and we can't make him mad, ever. Do not try to trick him or whatever. He's coming here to talk to you personally, which is a high regard coming from any K to have him here. So trust me on this. Be respectful. And he may question my methods with you a lot. So be honest and do not lie. He hates when people decide to lie. Some of us know that truly well in it ourselves. So trust me, kid. In the end, I did not regret choosing you." After Scorch said that, Deku's like, "Yes, I agree. And I'm glad you said that. I'm actually pretty happy that you saw me in that way. Saw me as something you could have, which if I was my old self, I would think that would be bad. But honestly, it feels great. And besides, without you, I'm nothing. Without you, none of this could be possible. And besides, my dear teacher, you can trust me as much as I trust you." Scorch heard that and he's kind of skeptical. He's hoping that Deku doesn't try anything against him, but if he did, he would be a very, very, very proud villain for his student to do something like that. To him, the most evil, would be pretty surprising. But hey, Scorch is Scorch. But after those two talk, Deku moves on. He goes to Mei and says, "You've been doing so good, darling. I wonder, what did you come up with that twisted sense of invention of yours? I wonder." Mei turns around and says, "Oh, Izuku, I have more weaponry planned for you, and I have it all right here. Some more armaments, arm blasters, and, well, my favorite, the mecha suit. It's a giant art piece in my opinion, but I'm still working on it. So when it's finished, you'll be a size of a titan, able to destroy a lot more. And think about it, it's good to use this one first. When it's finished, my dear Izuku." Deku looks at her and says, "Very well. I am actually pretty impressed of that. Can't wait to use it, or better yet, to let you use it. Think about it. The ultimate inventor using her inventions to destroy. And not only that, they would never know it was you because you don't have to show your face. In the end, they're just gonna know you're a giant robot. And not only that, you can upgrade it for how long you want. Think about it. You could destroy a lot more. All right, Mei?" Mei looks at him and says, "You know, that's a fair point. That's really fair, honestly. Why did I not think of that sooner? Oh well, since the fact being that you told me this, I'll do it. And not only that, why not I help you make the stakes more intriguing? Why not we actually build some robots that size too, but have them weaker and a little bit stupider, which shouldn't be a problem since we're just gonna destroy some cities, ruin some lives. The usual villain stuff." Deku looks at her and says, "Huh, I'm pretty proud of you already. You're coming up twisted like me. But however, Melissa's shield is still a little off, still fighting against it. Just keep an eye on her, okay, Mei?" And after that, Mei says, "Yes, sir." Then we cut to the heroes again, because we've been on Deku's point of view for way too long, and I need to actually focus on both sides. So have fun with that logic. Anyway, the heroes got back to UA as they're in a meeting, basically, talking about the events of what happened until Eraserhead, or Mr. Aizawa in this case, brings up this. "All Might, I got a note from Melissa's shield because she left something in that room before everything was gonna blow up. And it was basically the fact being that she left a virus to make it where everything else blew up, but not the building structure itself, which originally that's what it was supposed to happen. I don't think the mechanist knows about that, but she's still in there, literally. That's what the note says." All Might saying, "Well, if that's the case, there's still hope, right?" Nezu comes in and says, "Yes, but we shouldn't overthink ourselves. We shouldn't try to do something irrational, because in the end, this could just be a trick, a play, just to bring us into a false sense of security and then stab us in the back right after. which I am not going to fall for a trick twice, isn't that right? But in the end, honestly, we'll keep an eye on this to see if she's really in there, because in the end, the Mechanist is trying something. He's preparing for something, because I have noticed a lot of equipment has been missing from either UA shipments that are supposed to be getting here, and not only that, from other places, other facilities that are not even a part of UA, but their trucks and whatever else that is getting their supplies have been missing. Then, after Nezu said that, the heroes take a moment to think, just to think a bit, to figure out what would a maniac like him want to do, basically. Like, well, what does he want to do? Like, what is he trying to do? Not only that, they finally come up with something. They finally realize what he's probably doing. Those robots. He's probably making more machines like that. Maybe he's planning on a war, something to defeat the heroes, which those machines are capable, but the ones he's using are still not strong enough to actually, take down full-grown pro heroes. They can deal with officers and cops, but, can't deal with a pro hero because pro heroes, worked on their quirks for a while. But that's the conclusion what they come down to. As Nezu says, we need to make a plan. We need to figure out where the Mechanist went, and we need to figure out what is he going to attack next. What other shipment is he planning on attacking? And we need to defend it, and maybe either if he's there or one of his machines are running away, we can follow it or capture him. Really depends on that one. But in the end, we just need to be more smart than him. We need to be more intelligent and actually use our brains. And I know, All Might, that you want to go in guns blazing and go save Melissa Shield, who is practically like your daughter, which I have noticed, All Might. So, just saying, honestly, in the end, we have to be smart. All Might looks at him and says, I know, I should really think before I act or try to do something. You're right, but I just can't leave her in his hands any longer. Like, at some point, I may lose myself. Like, team me up with somebody to keep me in check, Which All Might says that, and the teachers consider that because, All Might is a hero that, goes in, he just runs in, he does what he's supposed to do, but he doesn't really think too much about it, except for the times when he actually uses his brain. But besides that, then the heroes do prepare for their plan to ambush the Mechanist. Because in the end, they have to plan this perfect, and I mean perfectly, because if they don't, then he may expect something's up. Because in the end, it looks like he's being very smart himself, or someone has taught him to be very smart, But before anything, we cut back to, the Deku's point of view. Let's go. Practically, Deku at this point, he's kind of walking down the hallways and all of that, looking at a certain direction, which the hallway has like these mirrors and stuff, so you can see through it, and it's showing a gigantic robots, a few of them being built, while the main one that May made for him earlier is still getting upgrades and still getting more things. But he looks to the left side of him, sees Melissa Shield working on the basic robots, as he's keeping eye on her to make sure she's not putting secret code that are not supposed to be in those robots. Because in the end, he doesn't want to get stabbed in the back again. Because he's not an idiot. He knows something's up. Because in the end, she was fighting so hard, but yet gave up at some point. And he knows something's up. So he just pretends for now that he doesn't notice anything. But besides that, though, he goes into a room, still working on his personal machine. A robot named Bloody Rose. Yeah, I know. Very, very good name, isn't it? But besides that, Bloody Rose is a crimson red machine. Looking like it has blood on it. So, he's been working on this thing for a while, taking all the best parts from his other robots and leaving out the flaws. He's even about to very soon, give it a personality. And when that happens, oh boy, he's gonna rejoice with joy and happiness. I know, very surprising, isn't it? But he waits for now, just waiting for it to be ready, as he still makes more adjustments and more tactical parts for it, as he throws a brain into it. Yes, it's a brain. He does some work to it with mechanical parts and, well, computer chips and all that, trying to connect it to the brain as Scorch watches, telling him where, what, and when certain things should be at on the brain, so it doesn't, overwhelm the brain. But then Deku does turn his head to look at Scorch and says, "Where did you get this brain anyway? It's high quality, and it looks like it's been well maintained for a very, very long time." Scorch looks at him and says, "Well, it's a former hero's brain. Honestly, I think this is a good choice, trust me. But don't put too much concern about it, because in the end, it's your project, remember? And heroes are just tools. So in the end, you're just putting a good tool to work. Isn't that right?" Deku says, "Yes, it is right. Because in the end, this is just my fun experiment, right? Just using this. And very soon, Bloody Rose will do certain things for me. Do things that I can't personally be there for. Isn't that right, Scorch?" Scorch responds with, "Yeah. Are you going to use her for a test? Make her steal some stuff that you've been stealing for a while?" Deku says, "Yeah. Because honestly, it would be good to get more equipment, but not regular equipment that we've been stealing from easy shipments. More experimental equipment. Some stuff from Island. Stuff that would usually be transported over there. That stuff is the most hard to get, since Island is like Tartarus in a way. But the difference is, we're gonna ambush it before it gets there, and Metal Rose is going to be the one to do it as a suitable test ground. Trust me, in the end, my dear teacher, this will make things a whole lot easier for me." Scorch responds with, "Honestly, that's fair. And that's pretty smart of you to create a sentient machine like this. The real question is, you should be glad I helped you erase most of the memory in there. Well, except for it knowing standard hero protocol and all that to, help it on its way to assist you, my dear student. Because in the end, without you, there's nothing, right?" Then Deku says, "So, besides that though, whose brain is this honestly? Can you tell me the truth of that, my dear teacher?" Scorch says, "Oh yeah, it's Nana Shimura's brain. If you're wondering how I got it, it's because, time travel shenanigans. Like, I shouldn't really say time travel shenanigans, because honestly speaking, I was around for a very long time. I saw her die, and I just went over there and, took her brain out of her body and just kept it, good and fresh for a long time." Deku looks at him and says, That's kind of surprising, honestly. Man, that's kind of messed up." Scorch says, "Yeah, I know it's kind of messed up, but honestly, I don't care. They're heroes, so like I stated before, fun experiments, Deku looks at him and says, "Yeah, sure. I guess that's a fair response. But still, you can't deny that's kind of messed up." Scorch says, "Yeah, I know. It's messed up, but still, I genuinely don't care. They're like heroes. Like I stated, they're toys to me. Honestly." Deku looks at him and says, "Well, that's fair. Still, gonna point it out there. That's pretty messed up, Scorch. Like, honestly. Like, I'm surprised that you were willing to do that, honestly. Scorch looks at him and says, "Yeah, but still, helps you out in the long run, doesn't it?" Deku looks at him and shrugs his shoulders and says, "Yeah, sure, yeah, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Honestly, that's fair. Could always be worse. You could have just, like, kept her head, which is more gross if you think about it, but besides that, honestly, yeah, so I'm gonna, keep working on my experiment and have fun with this. Hopefully there's nothing bad that would happen. And this is where I'm going to leave this off. Real quick, if I technically brought Nana Shimura in this story earlier, I'm just going to retcon that and do the brain thing, but if I didn't, then enjoy it how it was. Second of all, I've been using more AI to do music because I don't know how to do it myself. Just letting you guys know, because why the heck not? It's good. It helps me. And honestly, I'm just trying to use it to put more better music into it. I'm using, like, now a different one, if you've seen through the newer episodes that I have released so far. So trust me, it will be different. But at some point, when I get enough money, I am going to pay an actual person to do better music for me, so then I can have better ones than the AI ones, because sometimes AI don't get it right sometimes of what I want. So I'm just letting you guys know. So that too. And also, just real quick, if you're wondering how I did the story here, honestly, it was fun making it. Came up with it from my brain, my cranium, my mind. And honestly, it was fun to create, and I just wanted to make Deku more crazy throughout all the chapters up to now. So, and enjoy that fact. And for real, this time I'm going to leave you guys off, and you guys have a good day, and make sure you eat your cereal.